Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Spitfire. This is my 1978 Karl Spitfire 1500 that I am not really restoring, but turning into a hopefully competitive-ish race car. Got some videos on this thing if you scroll back in the channel. It's been a while since I really did anything with it. Last I left off, I was replacing rocker panel on this side because it was completely rotted out. The rocker panels I got didn't have anything in here, so I'm going to work on closing that up here the next couple days. They also stopped right here at this seam, so I had to build a new panel for in here, so I got that. I'm currently filling in the seam and trying to make it as smooth as I can. I'm not too terribly worried about the bodywork on this thing. Like, I'm not gonna go super crazy on it, but this is about good enough for me. I'll hit it with some spot putty, kind of get some of the holes in the Bondo filled in, get some random bits of Bondo that probably don't need to be there because I don't think they're in a low spot. I just don't think I've gotten down through to them yet. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that, but then probably the main focus of this video is going to be rebuilding on the passenger, or on the driver's side. Rebuilding all this. So it rusted out just the same, except the rocker panel is actually alright on this side. I'm gonna hit it with some 80 grit and strip it down just to make sure, or hit it with some aircraft remover just to make 100% sure, and just so I know what I'm working with over here. But I'm gonna hit that side with some primer and then flip the car around and then show you how I did that side on this side. It helps doing one first, then turning the camera on and showing you how I did it, just so I know how I'm doing it, because I'm not a body expert. I really don't like doing body work. I can do rust repair, but I'm not always too enthused about it. So I just happen to have a stroke of motivation, so I'm gonna try to square some of this stuff up and get it done so I can do more fun things like suspension or engine stuff or finishing up the roll bar. I have to do the body work before I can put the roll bar in, because you can't have a shitty base before you put safety equipment in. So, all right, let's get cracking. Alright, now you can see the area that I need to repair a lot better. And I'm going to start knocking all that back with some aircraft adhesive, or aircraft paint remover. I don't know why they call it aircraft paint remover. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a trash bag on the ground just to keep the floor from getting really, really bad. I'll probably come up to here because I see a little bit of rust. I just want to make sure there's no Bondo or anything hiding in here. There's a little Bondo here from whoever slapped it over, probably rust pitting and all that BS. So pretty much gonna have to reconstruct this whole corner like I did on the other side, so shouldn't be too terribly bad. The other side is fairly easy. I'll just go over how I do that on this one, and then I'm gonna cut back on the rockers just to make sure I don't have anything hidden in there. Just make sure there's no giant Bondo bridges of rust and Bondo and other bullshit. Alright, so got most of it hacked out, most of it cleaned up. There's a good bit of Bondo shoved in this thing on the seam and everywhere else. I still have a little bit to clean up, but this should be good enough to start working with. Hack out and fix all that. Hack out all this, fix that. And again here, same thing, hack out, fix it. Gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that yet. But once I figure it out, I'll show it. I might just, then I move down here and yeah. I don't like 80 grit sandpaper because it shows shit like this, where it was. There's little, giving me telltale signs of some crap going on in there, so. So this is one of the dumb things the last person that was working on this thing did. Right here is a tow arm that keeps your suspension in control. Keeps the, you know, rear axle moving forward and back. Well, they got a bunch of little shims under this mount, and this mount bolts through the body. There's a reinforced section right there, and bolts through. Well, they were on both sides. They welded it straight to the bottom of the floor pan here, which I don't think the floor pan is supposed to be that long. I think it's only supposed to be flush up here. And I think that was just extra that they never cut off for whatever reason. Yeah, there's all these shims in there. And if you weld it solid, then you can't adjust the damn toe in the car. So you can't really ever get the car back in alignment. So, you know, too much or too little toe in the rear will make the car twitchy or unpredictable. So yeah, that's pretty stupid of them. So basically what I'm going to do now is cut out in here everything and replace it. I have some plates made up that I did on the other side, and I'll repair the reinforcement piece that this bolts up to. I'll repair that, I'll clean this up, I'll fix this, I'll get that squared back away, cleaned and painted, get the inside done, finish all this out, get that done, and then yeah, be done with this, and then seal this all up, fill it in, then worry about the exterior. So I'm gonna hack out that piece in the interior and yeah, go from there, start fixing it. So I cut that reinforcement piece out, was there. Now I'm going to reconstruct that a little bit. Most of this bad stuff's getting cut out, and then in all this stuff's place, this plate goes, which has the holes drilled where they should be. So all I need to do is make sure it's lined up here with this outer skin, clean all the stuff up, weld it in. That piece will get welded to that, along with the reinforcement piece down here on the floor, and then I'll be able to box this side in like I did on that side, and then that should be strong enough then for my floor plates here. So yeah, shouldn't be too much harder after this. Maybe I'll need to throw another plate down over there to reinforce all that stuff so it doesn't punch through the floor, but it'll be mostly supported here and up here. So, and where all the decent metal is, I'm gonna refinish this stuff from the back side so I can get to it from that gaping hole. That should be fine. Good stuff. So I put weld through primer on the back side of this and any surface that's not going to be able to be sealed later once it's together. And everything's going good, and fortunately I'm still running flux core because I haven't been able to get to a weld shop while they're open to get my bottle filled. And having troubles with feeding on my wire, and so I stopped for a minute, and yeah, I've never had a flux core do this before. I guess the flux portion of it's coming off the actual filler wire, which is pretty strange, or vice versa, or the wire's coming apart, or it was incorrectly manufactured. So yeah, really annoying. So basically, it gets clogged up in the tip, let it feed, and hopefully it's not destroying my liner in my thing, so. Alright, new day. Got that all welded solid now. And then it's got weld 3 primer on it, so obviously this side does too. So once I get it done, we'll line it up, bolt in that bracket, weld it in, and then once that's done, then that corner is done. Got to clean up the inside still, and then make this panel, fix that, and onto this. After that, and that, this thing is basically right there and done, body wise. I mean, a lot of other stuff to do yet, so yep, threw the roll bar in just for some motivation, and to make sure I have enough clearance in there for the floor box. So might change that up a little bit yet. There's all kind of a moving target depending on how I feel. So I don't like how tall the roll bar is, and if I do it that way and cut another 4 inches off the roll bar from my seat position and my helmet height limits, which is 2 inches above the top of the roll bar, which I'm well below that right now. So we'll see how this goes, and then I'll decide on roll cage stuff from there. So I'm gonna get that stuck onto that and move on. All right, so for motivation, I slapped the roll bar in and the seat in. Just kind of sit in the driver's seat and play race car a little bit. I'm gonna leave this video right here because I got a lot more to do down here, and then I'll pick back up when I get ready to do that outer rocker skin. But I think this video is kind of dragging on a little longer than I intended it to, so I'll put that in the next one, and that in another or next one as well. So all right, keep an eye out for new videos coming out. I'm trying to get back into I know I've been saying this forever, I'm trying to get back in the mojo to do this, and got pretty good motivation. I got a bunch of stuff coming up on not only this thing, my Volkswagen, my other Volkswagen, and yeah, I'm pretty highly motivated right now to get all this stuff done, and at least get this one done for next spring, and got to get the Volkswagen done because I need something else to drive other than the Jeep. I'm sure that's not gonna hold together too much longer, but you never know. I think it's doing pretty good so far. So, all right, just remember, smash that subscribe button, comment with the like button, and like with the comment button.